Good evening, good afternoon. It is such a pleasure to have you all here with us today. My name is Greg Martayan, Vice President of the Valley Economic Alliance. It is an honor for me to introduce our speaker today. But before I get to that, many of you are familiar faces, many of you are new faces, and that is what's exciting about the Alliance, bringing together folks from throughout the region in order to collaborate to create better tomorrows for our residents and our businesses. The Valley Economic Alliance covers a 400 square mile region, quite large, with 5 strategic partner cities, one of which their council member is here today, Ed Albrecht, who's also on our board from Calabasas. We not only cover those 400 square miles, we have a constituency of 2 million residents. And so it is a very vast and very large area that we cover. Making sure that we have workforce development programs in place and work with partner agencies in order to make sure that the folks in the Valley can prosper. We're incredibly proud of the work that we do, and we want to make sure that household incomes stay high in order to be able to give folks a stronger hope for the future and to be able to put food on the table for their families. The idea of the Economic Alliance came to light after the Northridge earthquake, when the San Fernando Valley was going through a very tragic and difficult time of rebuilding. At the time, our founders came together along with government officials in order to create an institution that could deliver support and aid to keep the economy of the San Fernando Valley moving forward. At that time, a lot of industry stepped up, especially the entertainment industry, which is why we have our roots in the entertainment realm, in order to help us propel forward to create better tomorrows for all residents of the Valley. So between economic development, education and workforce development, livable and sustainable communities, we have a board of 86 members that include several of the banks. Most of you probably bank with their executives, many of the manufacturing companies in the Valley, the LA Rams, and multiple institutions that really help propel the Valley forward. And really, these are job creators that value and care about the residents of the San Fernando Valley. I encourage you to visit our website and to check out who our board members are and see if there's anyone there that you may want to also collaborate with and have discussions with after today. Today, I'm very proud to introduce our Director of Operations, Sharon Harris, to deliver today's workshop and this opportunity to all of you. And the reason I'm excited is because I was part of the team that brought Sharon on to the Alliance. And I was very proud of that decision that we made because she has a very, very deep background that goes back many decades in the nonprofit sector and also within the entertainment industry and music industry. And that is what the Valley sincerely is all about. And that's what I love about the Alliance, is that we bring together a plethora of folks from diverse backgrounds in order to address the needs of the Valley, to be able to relate to the Valley and actually represent the Valley. And we are the Valley. Sharon Harris, MBA, built a storied career as a musician, not a nonprofit arts director, music industry professional, and is the Director of Operations here, as I mentioned. She has been a professor of music industry studies with UArts and the UCLA Extension Program, Grammy Camp, and is an active speaker focusing on music industry studies, artist management, and tour management. She has led professional development sessions focusing on capacity building, programming, curriculum development, and sustainability for nonprofit arts professionals. If you are a music fan, you can tune into the Sharon Harris Experience on Sirius XM's Studio 54 radio, where she interviews people who move the needle behind some of the biggest dance and disco hits of our time. As Sharon comes up here, I really want to convey once again how excited I am about this event, which I sincerely hope will turn into a series and bring additional folks into the fold. The Valley Economic Alliance stands here with you. Some of you were at the nonprofit convening that we had a couple of weeks ago. It almost feels like a couple of weeks ago, where we brought together about 150 to 200 nonprofits in the Valley. And the message that I gave there is the same message that I give tonight, which is one of collaboration. Hopefully after this discussion, this isn't the last time that you communicate with us. And I sincerely hope that you stay in touch with Sharon Harris and myself, as well as our entire team, in order to support your needs and to propel you forward. The network that we have is vast, and beyond tonight, I welcome you to also participate in all of our events. We have a series of events that happen throughout the year. Some of you do participate in them. Last year at our regional summit, we had our lieutenant governor here, as well as our state treasurer. At an event prior to that, we had our state controller. Prior to that, we had an event for our chief of police when he was sworn in, to welcome him into the Valley. And we have a lot of opportunities for folks to come together. We have planned in the future additional events like those, and we invite you to participate with us, and we'll make sure that you get that information. Veronica Brandonicio, if you could say hi to everybody. Veronica is our administrative assistant, and you can stay in touch with her. And I encourage after this meeting, if you'd like to meet with me or with Sharon, please do reach out to Veronica and let's find a time to get together to talk shop. And perhaps there's multiple ways that we can support your needs and help you grow in the Valley. So thank you again. I welcome Sharon Harris, and I look forward to this. I look forward to this workshop and this opportunity too. So thank you all. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Greg, for that more than generous introduction and that pitch. Did you hear that pitch? Wow. I mean, that's what I feel like, drop the mic, it's over. That was it right here. But, your pitch is power, right? Your pitch is representing your business, maybe yourself. You may be pitching for a fund, for funders. You may be pitching for investors or, consumers if you're in sales. As a musician, sometimes I've had to pitch myself for jobs, right? So it's really important that we have the proper language, that we have the proper formula for our pitch. So we want to break down how to build a business pitch that just doesn't sound good, but it's also going to convert. It's going to convert so there's more eyes on you, right? And that's going to convert into more business. So before we go any further, I'd love to know who you are and just can you give me like a 10-second pitch? Just 10 seconds. Let's just go around the room. Yeah, we'll start here, we'll go around, okay?
I am Beth Goodnight. I own Goodnight Company. It's in the entertainment business. We get seen for all kinds of award shows.
Fantastic.
Cindy White, founder and CEO of OMG Consulting Group. We work with small and medium-sized businesses to help them strategize and grow.
Fantastic.
Phoebe Stansel, Piano Play Music Foundation, where we help each student one note at a time.
Cello Jones, part of Piano Play Music Systems. And so we teach children from the ages of 19 months to adults.
All right.
David Moskowitz, KW Commercial Real Estate. I'm the regional ambassador for California Central Southern.
Kathy Park, KW Commercial. I focus on transitioning small business owners to owning their real property instead of leasing.
My name is Elena. I work at Old Hits, the screen printing company, and we make promotional products there.
Charity Buck, General Manager, Old Hits. We do promotional products, screen printing and embroidery. Let us make something great for you.
I like that call to action.
Ed Albrecht, council member for the city of Calabasas, and also an investment advisor in the business of helping small businesses with employees, their management, and their resources.
Gary Burns. A couple of years ago, I said, if you vote for me, I'll try to make it rain. And they elected me to the Water Board of Calabasas, but I'm also an insurance broker with a very unique product that I can show you how you can save money on your payroll and also give your employees an AI app on their phone that actually reads their face and tells them what their blood pressure is and 25 other diseases. And there's a lot more involved. So if that interests you, see me.
What, that was a pitch.
So many questions already.
I know, right?
Hi, I'm Dominique. I'm with Hands for Hope. We are an after school nonprofit program. Yeah, I'm the funds development coordinator there.
Hi, I'm Leah Floyd, and I'm the CEO and founder of Hands for Hope LA, free after school program in North Hollywood, Van Nuys, and Coima. And I'm also the CEO of Simple Data Nonprofit Consultant for nonprofit leaders.
David Bowman, Uniformity and DM Graphics. We also do workwear and schoolwear and help extend your reach and visibility through embellishments.
Diane Sternbach, Imagine That interactive guided imagery. What is that, you wonder? Do you like ice cream? Ice cream cone? Think of an ice cream cone. Imagine one.
No.
Imagine it has a name. Say hi. You've just done interactive guided imagery. And you can use this for problem solving, pain management, sports improvement, creative writing, composing, anywhere where you're stuck.
Tammy Scher, I'm the board chair of the Sherbrooke Encino Chamber of Commerce. And I'm also an art dealer with ForgottenTreasures.com, I'm busy, and we sell authorized reproductions of the masters like Salvador Dali, Picasso, Moreau, Chagall, Van Gogh, and a lot of animation art too.
Hi, Asif with Farmers Insurance, agency owner, commercial and personal line coverage.
Taylor with Aerotech. I manage our construction division. It's staffing meets skilled labor, actually skilled labor. So if you are a construction company that works on commercial construction, you need either a couple guys to go permanent, we do contract hire, direct placement, or if you need 10 journeymen for a big project, you know, that too.
Hi, I'm Sharon Checky, and we're a part of the Piano Play Music Foundation as well as the Piano Play Music Systems. We've been in the Los Angeles and the Valley since 1987, dealing with kids as young as 19 months on cap.
Good afternoon. My name is Servando Ornelas with Cardinal Private Security. We provide security for you, your clients, your business, any type of real estate property. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Adrian Richardson and with Inspire Flow Arts, I'm the founder, and we use creative arts to teach things like financial literacy, youth mentorship, and performing arts such as improv and music.
Hi, my name is Adil Zahir. I'm with Southern California News Group. I help business owners sleep well at night. I help businesses grow through powerful advertising and marketing. And backed by 25 years of experience and proven results. Can somebody help me?
I'm Annette Mott. I'm also with Piano Play Music Foundation. I am chair and of fundraising and marketing.
Hello, I'm Kanisha Morris. I am a community mortgage consultant with Wells Fargo. I serve two purposes. One, to serve the community, educating on home ownership, and then also supporting realtors and real estate professionals in the community.
You. Oh, I'm so interested. I'm so intrigued by everything that you guys are doing, which is really great because you're doing some really fantastic work. So, but your pitch is going to be your business in a nutshell. So one question that if you stood outside of yourself and you listen to yourself, you almost have to say, why should I care? Right? So sometimes I'll record myself. I'll work on a pitch, I record myself, and then I'll listen back. Why should I care? Or who cares about what I'm saying, right? Because I want to invoke excitement about what I'm doing, depending on who I'm selling to, whether it's just connecting with a person, and I want that person to be really excited about who I am. Or if I'm talking about business, I'm trying to sell myself as a musician, or, with the Valley Economic Alliance, or, whatever. Because again, we may be looking at a consumer, we may be looking at a potential partner, if we have a foundation, if we have a nonprofit, and we need to sell ourselves. We may be looking at a funder, for venture capital. So there are a lot of layers. So your pitch is a valuable tool, again, whether you're pitching yourself or your brand. So again, it's the persuasion, being able to persuade people, like convince them that you need this, right? So quick story, when I first moved out here, I'm from Mount Vernon, New York, and I moved out here and I had to get work. So one of my first jobs, I was a perfume model. I was one of the ladies in the store that would spray you with perfume, right? That I avoid personally. I don't like to play, I'm like, I'm not going near you. But during certain times of the year, they would hire us to come in and do, more promotional work. And I loved it because it paid really, really well, back then, I think this was the 90s. And it was really flexible, so it checked all of my boxes, right? But I also had to be responsible because I was not the retail person behind the counter. I wasn't ringing up, but I was a lady in front. I would come in like Thursday through Sunday or whatever, and I would spray. And I would see my friends getting really bored, because it was competition. During the holidays, there's maybe about 7 or 8 of us out there, right? All these different fragrances. So I'm spraying and spraying, and I had this great idea because I'm looking at the women on the other side that were doing makeup. What if I pulled some men in and gave them hand massages and taught them how to layer fragrance, right? So I started exfoliating. Like, I'm going to show you how to wear this fragrance. First, we're going to exfoliate, right? And then I would take the lotion and I would put it on. I go, what's this? This is for your wife. This is for your office. What do you want this for? Who do you want this for? I'm going to tell you that they're going to love it, right? I have the sneakiest fragrance on the planet. Oh gosh, Halston. I was selling Halston. My sales were up 30% across the country. 30% over everybody. It was a company called French Fragrances that had taken it over. But what I did was I was layering. I was taking all the products. This Halston had a deodorant. They had a lotion. And then I would sell the eau de parfum because that was stronger than the cologne. Right? So consequently, I became such a great salesperson. And then wait, they had to get a GWP, a gift with purchase. Right? So they're getting value. I learned how to give them value. And that is something that I learned how to carry with me, even though it was an experience that was not my main profession. Believe me, my mother was having a heart attack because she spent all this money for me to go to Berklee College of Music, and now I'm spraying people with perfume. But it's really valuable because the experiences that you have in other areas, you should be able to carry with you, moving forward. So I always recommend when I'm teaching or everybody should do something in sales because sales are essential. Everything that we do is about sales. So, again, we're convincing people why they need what we have to offer. All right. So the elevator pitch, I don't know if can everybody see this okay? Let's go to the elevator pitch a little bit. Let's see if we can pull this up. Oh, here it is. I think the mouse works better on this. Yes. So here we go.
The elevator pitch was your first step towards becoming a networking god. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Right. Yes. Oh, what good things about it. Nice. So, nice. What is it that you do with it? Well, merge all my talents together and just give out to the world, like stuff inside them. It's like a mixture of stuff. I'm a creative guy, people's person, obviously. I'm writing from it. That's not an elevator pitch. That's the ramblings of an unprepared. An elevator pitch is a sentence that sums up what you do so concisely that you can tell it in a space of the average elevator ride. If you were to write it down, it'd be about 140 characters, which is about a tweet. So let's try that again, shall we? Hey, Mr. CEO, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Hi, Ruth. Yes, yeah. I've heard good things about you. Okay, nice. So, what does it do there? I'm a presenter and a comic. I host live events and I make online comedy videos. And I'm also co-founder of individualism.co.uk, which is the UK's leading men's blog. Excellent. What about events coming up? You can do your services over the I do. Yes, I do. There you go. Thank you. Nice day. Preparation, got into the country where the speaking go is the whole evening. Did you think
I love that little video. You know, there was a lot to notice, especially how he just gave about 4 points, right? 4 very clear points. I do this, I do that. And then when he got to the last point, he expanded just a little bit, but it was still not overwhelming. You know, so that's really important because you don't want to overwhelm somebody, and you also want them to welcome you into their space. So I would say the other part about a pitch is how you say it. So if I said to you, I am Sharon Harris, the director of operations and musician. Right? How's that energy?
Hello.
Right? Hi, I'm Sharon Harris. I'm the director of operations for the Valley Economic Alliance. I'm a musician by trade, and I also host a show on SiriusXM. Right? So your delivery has a lot to do with it. Now I'm going to tell you, people here, how many people are shy? Okay, wait, so I only got 3 shy. Everybody else is not shy. Everybody else is not shy. I know y'all are not shy. So I'm going to tell you, I was always very, very shy. Very, like, extremely, extremely painfully shy. I mean, I still have to, you know, I kept all my notes whenever I was talking to somebody. I used to have index cards. I would write everything down because I would get I'd have so much anxiety, I would forget, right? So, but eventually you learn, you listen to yourself and you go, wow, is that something that I would want to, or something that I would want to, you know, invite into my circle, or, you know, in terms of your pitch. So these are the different types of pitches. We have our elevator pitch, right? We have our investor pitch. The investor pitch is a little longer. We're probably not going to get into it again today, but the investor pitch is great if you're looking for funding, if you're a nonprofit, and you're looking for, you know, for partnerships, for sponsors. It could be 5 to 10 minutes. There's a really wonderful program, Social Venture. I don't know if you've done Social Venture Partners before, SVP, but that's a really great program where somebody works with you over a series of weeks to refine your pitch about your nonprofit entity or your business. And there's also the sales pitch where it's a little more direct, right? And much shorter. So let's look at the anatomy of a pitch. So I'm a musician, right? So one thing that's big for me is song structure. If you listen to most songs, there's an intro, there's a verse, right? There may be a bridge or a chorus, right? And then there may be another bridge, but then there's this chorus that goes around and around. That's, you know, kind of like that hook, right? That's really, really strong. So I think of a pitch with the same formula or a similar formula. In my mind, everything is formulas. How we talk to each other, especially when we want to get something or if we're trying to persuade. So we're going to have that strong start. Sometimes you may grab attention with a short story, a problem that needs to be solved. So as an example, 80% of women experience symptoms in midlife that affect their productivity, but less than 15% receive effective support. Right? That makes you interested. It's like, okay, where is this going? Right? So you want to have something, you want to understand where this is going. So I'm talking about a problem. I'm talking about a pain point at this point. So now I need to look at a solution, right? So what is the solution? Then it's finding the proof of concept around it, and then a call to action. And your call to action, that's your invitation to invite people into your space. Okay, and it can be done no matter what your specialty is. Pitches can be done for everything. So you're making it compelling, right? It's about appeal. It's about appeal. If you think about the products that you like, why do you like them? Why do we like Nikes or Adidas? Why do we like Wonder Bread or Home Pride? Why do we like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, right? What is the appeal? And some brands have very specific audiences. Cars, you know, there's a gazillion cars. So there's room for everybody. But a lot of it is going to depend on your appeal to your audience, is understanding your audience. So when you're talking appeal, that's what we're talking about. Your appeal should demonstrate your passion, your dedication, and most of all, the need. What is the need of your audience, right? So understanding you can have the audiences, the demographic of your audience, who you're talking to, and the psychographics, which digs a little deeper into their likes, dislikes, and everything that's adjacent in their worlds. And impact. How can you measure impact, right? So you're looking at something that's grabbing attention. It's connecting emotionally. You know, so it presents a clear solution. It's confident, it's concise. Now, is this going to happen right away? Probably not. So I don't want you to think that we're going to do this workshop and you're going to get it right away. You may, but I think you start to understand the formula. So it's like baking a cake. Who here bakes? Who here cooks? Right? So you have to have ingredients, right? So it's almost the same thing. You have to have just the right ingredients and you have to test it out and make sure it's getting the reaction. So if you look at ads, for instance, if anybody here has done digital marketing, a lot of people will do A/B ads, right? So you'll have one ad, an A ad, see how that goes out into the world and what kind of reaction that gets. Then you have your B ad. So you don't have to get one pitch and just stay with it. You want to kind of shape it and make sure it says everything that you wanted to say, make sure it has the call of action that you needed, call to action, and make sure that you're getting the result that you need. So here are a bunch of pitches. I want you to rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. I'll read them in case you can't see them on that side. This program is about supporting women's health in the workplace. We help people feel better and stay productive. It's something a lot of companies don't focus on. Let's rate that from 1 to 5. What would we say?
5.
2. I saw 1. You see a 3?
2 or 3.
2 and 3. That's awesome. So that's weak. It's not clear. There's no problem or audience, right? It doesn't identify the stage of life and it lacks structure. And there's no value proposition, right? So your pitch should give some type of value, right? All right, let's do pitch number 2. Our initiative provides health education and wellness support to women over 40 in the workplace. Many women experience changes that impact their performance, and we help them manage those challenges so they can continue to thrive professionally. What do we say?
That's exactly.
All right, it's getting there. I would give that like maybe about 2.5, 3, maybe 4, maybe 4. I think it's getting there. It's a little bit clearer. You're getting a clearer understanding of what the concept is, right? Okay. All right, so let's do this one. 1 in 4 women over 40 considers leaving the workforce due to unmanaged health shifts. But most companies don't see the signs until it's too late. Pause and Power is a midlife wellness program built to retain, re-engage, and elevate experienced women leaders, especially those from underrepresented backgrounds. We deliver culturally competent workshops, policy consultation, and wellness strategies that reduce absenteeism, improve retention, and foster loyalty during this critical life stage. We help companies propel into the future where thriving doesn't pause with age. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words. It's clearer. It gives you, but it's not, well, you know what? It's also not an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an elevator pitch.
Good.
So,
It's a language.
yeah, and I would say it's more of a sales pitch. It's kind of aligned more with the sales pitch because it's probably 1 to 2 minutes, which is totally acceptable, but it is a lot of information. So it could probably be whittled down, but you know, when it's grabbing when it says 1 in 4 women over 40, you know, consider leaving the workforce.
And this one had the name of the company, right? Because
Right.
those two didn't.
When the other
say
two,
what they were.
right, so it's a lot clearer, and then it's just a matter of shaping these, you know, to make sure it says what you need to say, like, you may say, I'm not comfortable with saying it, like, I can't remember all that. I won't, so, I know for me, I would have to whittle it down, quite a bit. Okay, so this is the fun part, you guys have a little packet on your chair. Power pitch, I'm sorry. And it has some information that breaks down the structure of the pitch, elevator pitch, investor pitch, sales pitch. Right? So we can focus on an elevator pitch, I would say, or a sales pitch because they're shorter. So this is the time that I'm gonna give you, whether you wanna work separately or whether you wanna work together, it's totally up to you. I'm gonna give you time. You have like, it says 10 minutes here. If you need a little more than 10 minutes, that's perfectly fine. But I'd like to just touch on it. Let's get it started. And I want to hear your pitches, right? So the first thing that you want to do is know what type of pitch you're going to work on, right? Now, after we figure out what type of pitch we're going to work on, I want you to be clear of who you're talking to. Right? And sometimes I'll ask somebody, well, who's your audience? My audience is everybody. My suggestion is to niche it down. Be very specific. I'm talking to men and women ages 25 and up, right? And know what is your reason behind it. I'm talking to, you know, women 45 and up, right? You know, whatever it is. Be very specific. And if you can get as specific with your niche, you can always widen it from there, right? But I always say start small, don't try to spread out too wide. Start really small, and then you can always open up those gates. So you want to identify the problem. What problem are you solving? Right? What is the problem you are trying to solve? Why is it urgent and why is this important? Right? So then describe your solution. And then what is unique about what you have to offer? Okay, so that's part one. Then part two is the elements. It's looking at what is the hook, the problem. So very, very similar, but it's just kind of, I would say, drilling down and refining it a bit more. And at the end, there's a section that tells you, that gives you all of the guidelines. So if you have questions about how should my hook feel? A surprising fact. What is a surprising fact about, you know, is there a personal story that you can wrap into it? That's something I know in a lot of nonprofits, and I've worked in nonprofits for years, so I know when we do these agency videos and we start having these stories about our constituents and wrapping that in, because we want to, it's always about pulling at the heartstrings. Right, because you want people to be really tied in and feel emotional, especially if you're with your children, for instance. You know, what is the change? What is the transformation that's going to happen here. So we have all this information, so I'm gonna give you guys some time. Now, there's portals in that room over there, there's lots of it, so I would like to see it disappear as well. So you're welcome to snack while you're working on your project. Now, this QR code, if you wanna do it digitally, some people may wanna do it on your phone. You can scan the QR code, it'll come up on your phone, and that way you can, access it that way. And you will get copies of the slides. Okay, does anybody have any questions before we go into this section? Anyone have questions about anything? Everything's clear, no questions.
I had a question.
Yes.
If you're focused on the elevator pitch, would your audience be prospective partners? Because arguably you're just gonna be anybody.
Yeah, it could be, but you could be somebody on the elevator. So I look at it, there are a couple of things I look at in an elevator pitch. Like, you can just talk to somebody very generally and say, this is who I am and blah, 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 and it's nice to meet you. You can go, oh my gosh, that's an executive, and that's that person I've been trying to get into front of this my company. Maybe that's the one that's more specific, so you can have more than one. And I always recommend just thinking about more than one, because sometimes we get on an elevator and we're like, oh my gosh, you see who's next to me? I need them, but it's, and you become that rambling guy. So this is to prevent that. This is just so you can be prepared when that happens. I'm not gonna say if that happens, when that happens. When you meet that person you wanna meet, and you wanna invite them into your space without flooding. So if you think about it, then we won't flood, right? Yes.
I was just gonna say one small tip for the salesperson, if you become that rambling person, after the question.
Yeah, but if you're rambling so much. And that's a really good tip. So, but if you can, sometimes you ramble so much because you lose your train of thought. Right? So this is to help you in those situations. So I'm gonna give you some time to go ahead and, yes.
That's a good question. So the QR code is the exact same thing as this?
Yes, this QR code is this packet right here. So if you want to do it electronically and it's on your phone, that's what that is. It's the same thing as this.
Yeah, QR code, the documents and credit.
Oh, is it? Oh, no. Let me change that. I'm gonna go to my computer and change that. I thought I had it for anybody on here. Let me go and make that available.